Megan and I are so excited to be with you today to pump you up about boosting your immunity as well as your energy with healthy lifestyle behaviors. Last week, you heard about managing credit and debt reminders. So remember, you can obtain a free copy of your credit report by logging onto this website. And it's super important to monitor debt payment levels and achieve a 15% debt ratio. But very importantly, start saving for an emergency account if you don't have one right now. So COVID-19, as it goes on and on, is triggering a lot of mental health problems, as we've talked about on prior lectures. But the other thing that's happening, it's also triggering unhealthy lifestyle behaviors. We just conducted a return to campus survey. We looked at mental health and healthy lifestyle behaviors of our faculty, staff, and students. We are really seeing an uptick in a decent percent of our population of unhealthy behaviors. People are using alcohol to regulate their emotions, often eating more, unhealthy eating, going to the refrigerator a lot if you're working at home. People are already also experiencing declines in physical activity. Now more than ever, it is so critical to pump up, escalate our healthy lifestyle behaviors, because we've got to keep our immune systems built in order to prevent infection. Or if we do develop COVID, we want our immune systems functioning at maximum capacity. So every single part of your body, including your immune system, functions so much better when protected by healthy lifestyle behaviors, such as regulating our stress, eating healthy, engaging in physical activity regularly, getting adequate sleep. All of those behaviors are so critical. Although they're under our control, oftentimes they are not easy to change. Evidence alone, facts alone, often do not lead to changes in behavior. So I often intertwine story that can raise people's emotions, because that's when they tend to really think about making a behavior change. 9 years ago, I left sunny Arizona to come to Columbus, Ohio. A lot of people say, were you out of your mind the day you made that decision? I say, absolutely not. I was able to craft the first chief wellness officer position at a university in the entire country. It was such an exciting opportunity, and I will tell you, it brings me so much joy to go across this university and to help people get more motivated to live lives in optimal physical, mental, and emotional well-being. But I grew up in a small little coal mining town that you see on the slide right now, Republic, Pennsylvania, about an hour south of Pittsburgh. My dad was a coal miner. I'm sure we were labeled working poor, but I was born with rose-colored glasses on. I was blessed to be born with resiliency. And boy, did I ever need it. Because when I was 15 years of age, home alone with my mom, she sneezed and stroked out right in front of me. She passed that day. That was such a traumatic event for me. I lived for a couple of years suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression. But what was so sad about my mom's story, she had a history of headaches for over a year. And my dad kept saying, please go to the doctor, figure out what's wrong. She finally went to her family physician just a week before she died. She was diagnosed with high blood pressure, given a prescription for a blood pressure medication that my dad found in her purse after she died. Cardiovascular disease is still the leading cause of death in America, yet 80% of it is totally preventable with just a few healthy lifestyle behaviors. So I always say, if you consider all causes of death and disease in the United States, it's truly our behaviors that are the number one killer. We must move more and sit less. Sitting is killing us. It's also zapping our energy. And I encourage those of you that are sitting now, please stand for the rest of our talk. So I've long had a philosophy, in God we trust, but everybody else better bring data to the table. I'm bringing you evidence right now to show you that you can reduce your risk of chronic disease by these substantial percents if you only engaged in physical activity, 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Cut the length of your meetings down. Instead of 60 minutes, do 50 minutes. You'll have 10 minutes that you can get up and move, put on the box, the music, dance. Just sit less and move more. Even 11 minutes a day helps. 5 fruits and veggies a day. Don't smoke. Don't drink alcohol if you haven't started. If you have, limit it. 1 drink a day for both men and women is the new recommendation. Add 7 hours of sleep on top of that and practicing stress reduction. Again, we could wipe out 80% of chronic disease. Because if we don't take time now to prioritize our own self-care, we're going to have to make time for chronic disease later down the road. Well, everybody asks me, how big can that one drink a day be, Bern? And I tell everybody, not the size of the alcoholic beverages they serve in Vegas. A lot of this is choice. We make choices every single day. This is a real fitness facility in California. A group of psychologists studied how many people during the normal course of a day, during a week, would choose to walk the stairs instead of take the escalator. What they found was just 2 people a day took the stairs. I know it's not January 1 today, when so many people commit to making a healthy lifestyle change. But I want you to say to yourself right now, today is my January 1. I'm going to pick just one of those lifestyle behaviors I showed. And I'm going to work to do a little better of that every single day for the next 30 days. It typically takes 30 to 60 days to make a behavior change. Don't put it off. Start now. You see, I didn't have a mom to see me graduate from high school, college, go on to have my 3 beautiful daughters, my 2 grandsons, my 2 character-building pugs, and my loving husband. If you don't do it for you today, if you're having trouble getting motivated for yourself, I want you to picture everybody in your life who so loves you and wants you to be around for a really long time. So when I don't feel like exercising, when I get up in the morning, I put these faces in front of me. They motivate me to engage in healthy behaviors. So who in your life is going to be your motivator today to just get a little bit healthier? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Megan, and she's going to get into several more specifics.
Thanks, Bern. Do you want to stop sharing and I'll share mine?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be with you today. We're going to go through these strategies fairly quickly. Believe me, we could talk for hours on these topics, and I know I speak for Bern and myself. We love to talk for hours on these topics. The picture you see here in front of you is the types of foods we should be eating and enjoying most of the time. Not all of the time, because there is certainly room for other types of foods in our diet, but this is colorful and should attract the eye and have you craving some of these healthier types of foods most of the time. However, here's the reality of our situation, right? We have a lot of different decisions we make, hundreds of decisions with regards to our food every day and different circumstances in which our food choices arise. And so this is actually the reality of most of our food decisions. In terms of health and energy, I just want to quickly go through some of the physiological aspects of the body. Nutrition, what we choose to put into our bodies, can negatively or positively impact our health and our energy. And you all know when you go too long without eating, you have symptoms. Each one of us has very specific symptoms when we go too long without eating. I'm sure many of you on this call have heard of the term hangry before, right? Maybe you, maybe someone around you. Because we're in this physiological situation, and then it affects our emotions and our mental capacity, we are not getting energy to the cells. That's not a good thing, right? Our cells need energy to keep our bodies functioning. When we don't provide the energy to our bodies, well, then you get into this, it affects, like I said, the mental and the emotional dimensions of energy because you're not feeling good. Maybe you don't want to interact with people around you. You're hangry, right? So your energy can suffer in different areas of your life. On top of that, when we don't provide enough energy to our bodies, we then begin to pull from muscle mass, which can impact our lean muscle, and it can slow our metabolism over time. So there are some not so positive effects of going too long without eating. On the flip side, when we eat too much, we put too much energy into our system. That can throw off our blood sugar levels, our insulin, and our fat storage. If you don't use it, it generally goes to your fat store. And it also can decrease your energy and have you less engaged with those around you. So if you eat too much, think about how you feel afterwards. It could be physical, mental, or emotional feelings that you have. Here are some key nutrients that you can use or ingest, and I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but on a perhaps weekly basis, the types of immune supporting nutrients, beta carotene, vitamin C, D, zinc, probiotics, and actually protein, because protein helps the cells grow and repair. And this is something that you could, again, figure out on a weekly basis how you can put more of these healthier foods in you to help support your immune system. And you can take a look at this a little bit later because there are lots of examples in here. Oops, excuse me. Oh, here is one strategy I just want to mention. It's called Eat Light, Eat Often. Probably a couple of you or several of you on the call today have heard of this strategy before. It's truly about eating light and eating often. So you're eating every 2 to 4 hours. And this really helps with our energy levels throughout the day. When it comes to health, I'll talk about that here in a moment, but we want to be putting the healthier foods in our bodies to then incorporate into this Eat Light, Eat Often notion. When it comes to snacking, this is a part of Eat Light, Eat Often. So you want to fuel up lightly between your meals. And here are some examples for you. You're aiming for about 100 to 200 calories with your snacks. Think of a snack as what's going to sustain you between your meals. It'll get you to your next meal. So be very careful with the calories in snacks. Those can add up real quick, but this should, again, help you with your energy levels throughout the day, and also, if it's on the healthier side, your overall health. Portion control is another important aspect to Eat Light, Eat Often. So we really want to monitor our portions throughout the day. When it comes to eating light and eating often, if you were to just gently cup your hand, you have about 1/4 to 1/2 cup right there, which is the serving size for much of our food. 1/2 cup would be for like rice and carbohydrates, those types of foods, cereal, but 1/4 cup might be for some dried fruits, some cashews or mixed nuts or something like that. So that gentle cup of the hand can be a good way to ID what your proper portions are for a lot of the foods that you're eating. Again, this goes along with Eat Light, Eat Often to help manage our energy, and hopefully you're eating on the healthier side. So on the healthier side, I love this visual. It really surmises how we can have the best of both worlds. Most of the time, we want to put the healthier foods in our system, and then every once in a while, you have your 20% rule where you ingest or indulge a little bit in something that's on the yummier side. This is something that you could adhere to every day or every week. How you lay this out is kind of up to you. I do it on a daily basis. It's just easier for me to implement this strategy. But again, this is something that can help us choose healthier options most of the time. So now I'd like to quickly move to physical activity and exercise. And I'm sure every one of you on this call knows that our bodies are made to move. We are physical beings. And when we are active, it helps promote good circulation. That allows cells and substances of the immune system to move throughout the body and do what they need to do, therefore improving your immune system. When we move more throughout the day, what Bern was saying earlier, it gets our blood flowing, so that's good because it helps get the circulation around, and we can actually feel energized when we move. But also it can help our metabolism. We're moving our muscles and our body, and so therefore revving up our metabolism a little bit more. And when we don't move throughout the day, you get the opposite of those effects. When it comes to the strategies associated with more movement, you can see some recommendations here in front of you. We want to try to do small movements. I would even say every 30 minutes. So it could be like shoulder rolls. It could be a neck roll. It could be bringing your knees up to your chest, doing a little bit of stretching while you're sitting. So small movements, if you can do it every 30 minutes. Larger movements, getting up out of your chair, maybe doing a little bit around the house or outside, or taking a short walk, or if you're at work, doing a little bit around the office space, getting up out of your chair and doing those movements, hopefully every 60 minutes, that's the goal with the large muscle groups. We're not talking about anything too intense here. Some movement is definitely better than no movement throughout the day, but you can keep it on the lower intensity side. With exercise, we really want to try to incorporate strength training and cardiovascular work throughout the week. I want you to think about quality, not quantity. That will help you get more bang for your buck in your exercise routine. And if you look at the right side of this slide, you can see what I mean by more bang for your buck. The gray line is what we call continuous activity. This might be if you go out and take a 30-minute walk or a 30-minute jog or a 30-minute bike ride. The interval, a lot of research has come out in the last 10 to 15 years on what we call high intensity interval training. You don't have to do this every day, and you can certainly do it when you're walking, running, or biking too. You can mix strength training into your interval training, but what the research shows is that you can get more out of 30 minutes of interval training than continuous. Not that I don't want you doing continuous, that's completely fine, but you want to try to mix in some interval training throughout your week to get your heart rate up, test your cardiovascular system a little bit more, maybe burn a little bit more of your calories and fat, and really get the body to a better place. So if you want to try to incorporate the interval training, you'll get more out of it than a continuous workout. But again, you can still do the continuous. I like to take my walks as well. So we're talking about doing. I also want you all to acknowledge the fact that we need to press pause every day. We all know that stress impacts the immune system, particularly chronic or long-term stress. It is linked to numerous health problems with the immune system. It can suppress our immune system, premature aging of the immune system, increases our risk of illness and disease, and can also affect the upper respiratory tract. So stress, we're not going to get rid of it, but it is something that we need to be able to manage better. So you can, and I just put a few strategies in here of, again, pressing pause, taking a minute or two to relax, recover, whatever you want to call it. Maybe a minute or two of deep breathing. There's been a lot of research on deep breathing and how beneficial it can be over the course of your life, and how it can bring down your cortisol levels, which is one of your stress hormones. Taking those breaks throughout the day, taking a little bit of vacation time, even if it's a staycation, getting off your electronics. I know that's really hard, especially if you're someone like me who has more of an administrative role, but if you can get off the electronics at certain points of the day, that's going to help you recover. Mindfulness, being in the present moment, laughing, journaling, gratitude. There's a lot of strategies out there that you can seek out to help you recover better in the mental and emotional realm. And sleep is very important as well. So these are one of those, again, press pause, and hopefully you're pressing pause for 7 to 9 hours a night. When we sleep, our immune system releases these proteins. You can see that word on the right side, cytokines. And these proteins actually help to promote sleep. They go throughout the system and they can fight off infection and inflammation in the body, especially when you're under stress. And when we are sleep deprived, those cytokines don't get produced in the quantities that they do when we have adequate sleep. So just something to think about. If we're really talking about our immune system and energy, we want to get proper amount of sleep. 7 to 9 hours is what is ideal. When we are sleeping, we are growing and repairing our body physically, mentally, emotionally, etc. So we really want to try to get the recommended sleep amount. I put a couple of key strategies on the right side. There is certainly a lot more out there on the web if you want to seek out some additional information. We don't want to have caffeine too close to bed. We don't want to exercise for the most part too close to bed. It revs up the temperature of the body and then it's harder to fall asleep. Going to bed the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. Those are evidence-based strategies that can really help promote good and proper sleep hygiene. So hopefully you got maybe 1 or 2 items today to take back with you. We also like to throw this, just make one change for your wellness. And here are some examples: moving a little bit more, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. As Bern was mentioning earlier, don't hold a 60-minute meeting, hold a 50-minute meeting and then have a little recovery break in there. Something with your nutrition, gratitude, thankfulness, laughing more. So there's lots of small changes that you can make. And we recommend 1, maybe 2 to get you started, and then you go from there. So just consider one small change you can make for your health and wellness. It'll do a great deal of difference. In terms of skills building, I just want to highlight quickly what we talked about. When we take care of our health, we boost our immune system. We also can better manage our energy throughout the day. We want to eat a variety of foods so that you get that vital immune boosting vitamins and minerals. Engaging in physical activity and exercise is so important, especially to keep our cardiovascular system running efficiently, our heart, get those nutrients to where they need to go in the body, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and taking the time to rest and recover. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our team, but I want to thank you all very much for your time and energy today, and hopefully you got just a little nugget out of this to take back with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. We have a couple of questions in the Q&A. If anyone else has any, we've got a few minutes here at the end. Please post them here in the Q&A and we'll get them answered. So Megan, the first question we have is, in regards to going too long without eating, what about intermittent fasting? I've heard it can be beneficial health-wise.
Yeah. Talk to me offline. That's a longer conversation than we probably have time for. You're welcome to email me at amaya.13. There's still a lot of mixed research on intermittent fasting. I recently read a good article on how it does. Fasting in general can help with longevity, but again, there's still, the research is not decades old. It's really the last 5 to 10 years maybe on intermittent fasting. So more needs to be done in this area. It has shown to be beneficial, but long-term adherence is really difficult too. So I would say shoot me an email and I can probably send you some additional information on the topic. But overall, fasting is not necessarily a bad thing. We just want to be really strategic and careful about how we do the fasting.
So this question, the second question is similar in nature, but maybe you can speak to the differences between intermittent fasting and eat light, eat often. So this question is, eat light, eat often seems opposite to the intermittent fasting thing that is being pushed. Is it okay to do either one? So maybe speak to the benefits of why it's better to eat light, eat often.
So it kind of depends on your goals. If your goal is sustained energy throughout the day, your eat light, eat often is the strategy that you would want to choose, because you're fueling your body every X amount of time, which is going to give you the physical energy you need. I will say with eat light, eat often, if you're truly eating light and eating often, you're only eating the energy that your body needs, and therefore things aren't going to fat storage. You're using that energy, and then your body's ready to refuel itself a little while later, and it's using that energy up to where it needs to go. Intermittent, so it's got a lot of positive benefits of eating light, eating often. But if your goal is to, for example, lose weight, eat light, eat often might help you with that, but you want to try the intermittent fasting, for example. It's not that it's not sustained energy. You're just squeezing all your food into a certain amount of time, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is that what strategy you want to follow. And so you're not getting that sustained energy over the course of a day because you're eating all your calories within one time. But I know people who have done it personally. They've seen great benefits from it. Again, the research is a little mixed. However, it does help people lose weight as well. So if that's your goal, then that might be the strategy that you seek out. I just always recommend doing your research on it to the best of your ability. Again, this is a conversation we could have offline, so feel free to reach out to me at amaya.13. I'm trying to give you like a short answer, but still trying to answer your question.
Okay, the next question. If when you don't eat, you burn lean muscle mass, when do you ever burn fat?
Ooh, that's a good question. So we actually, unfortunately, don't utilize fat as often as we'd like. If we all use fat as a major source of energy, I wouldn't have a job. A lot of personal trainers wouldn't have a job. A lot of people, we wouldn't have this issue to deal with. And so when it comes to, if I was in a class with all of you, I would ask, what is the number one fuel source? And hopefully all of you would say carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are truly the number one fuel source the body uses. When we use fat, it generally tends to be at lower intensities, like lower intensity exercise. Your body is still using carbohydrates though for energy. Fat is another source it pulls from, but it's not the first source. So the fat burning can be done. So for example, like if you're exercising maybe at a lower intensity, if you're up at the high intensity, you're using carbohydrates. But if you're at the lower intensity, you can pull more from the fat stores for energy. And that's okay, like if you're taking a walk or something, but you also want to improve other areas of your body, like your cardiovascular system, your muscle strength, your muscle endurance. And so you don't always want to be at that lower intensity level. You want to test the body, right? Push the body out of its comfort zone. So coming up with a balance of maybe a little bit of lower intensity where you can pull from the fat stores, and then maybe some higher intensity types of activities so that you're, again, getting out of your comfort zone and helping your body grow physiologically.
Okay, so we will do maybe one or two more, everyone. I don't want to keep you too much past 1 o'clock. Will apologize in advance that we won't get to all of these questions, but if you want to engage or have a further conversation, feel free, please, to reach out to Megan or Bern. They're happy to continue these discussions. So the next question we have is, what tips do you have for people who have a hard time waking up in the morning after getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep?
So if you're going over 9 hours of sleep, you might want to talk to your primary care provider. There might be some other issues going on if it's hard to wake up after 9 hours. That's generally the rule of thumb, is to go talk to a provider to see what they might recommend. They might seek out another therapy for you. It could be a physical therapy, not like PT, but another type of therapy that's physically based. It could be some emotional or mental therapy. So I would recommend going to your PCP and talking to them if you're struggling to get up after 9 hours of sleep.
I think, well, the question was more if you're getting between 7 and 9 and still having trouble waking up, what would be the advice you have? Yeah, sorry, I wasn't clear. It's what tips you have.
There's probably an underlying something going on. I would still go to your primary care provider. They might be able to do some testing that can see if you're deficient in anything. Because 7 to 9 is the body. Physiologically speaking, the body has time to grow and repair. Also, your dream sequences, you've done all 5 of them, most likely 3, 4, probably 4 or 5 of them. So your brain has gotten done what it needs to get done. And so if you're still struggling waking up between that time frame, you might want to go talk to your PCP, and maybe there's some testing they can do to see if there's something else going on. And I will say we are going into the fall months. I don't know if this is something that maybe happens during certain times of the year. I use a light box from the end of August through March. So that helps me, give me energy, if you will, sunshine. And so I use that first thing in the morning, and that helps me because I have that seasonal affective disorder that helps me get through the winter months. I always find that my energy starts to go down about mid-August. And I don't know if that's the case here, but that could be something that you could look into as well.
Okay. We'll have time for one more question. Again, apologies everyone, but want to just say thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and you should be receiving the post-evaluation and knowledge check in your inboxes here in the next few minutes. So the final question for today is, if you're over 50, what is the key to healthy eating in order to lose weight?
That's a tricky question. Again, this is probably a better question for offline because it's not an easy answer. Part of it is muscle mass. Part of it is reducing calorie intake. Depending on if it's a male or a female, there's also potentially some hormonal issues going on that can impact, especially on the female side of things. So a combination of muscle and exercise, and then energy intake, quite frankly. That's not the end-all be-all answer, but just to answer the question right now, those are 3 contributing factors. So, and eating, obviously eating healthier most of the time. There might be some tweaks that you can make to your diet so that you're getting the healthier items in there. Just small changes, right, that maybe bring down the calorie amount to help with that. But the muscle mass is also really important to maintain as you get older, and that can burn more energy throughout the day. So again, feel free to contact me offline. Probably a little bit better to have a one-on-one conversation about that.
Great. Thanks again, Megan. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next week.